Commission, the Civic Improvement Commission, and then ultimately approved by the City Council. Once we have our design pretty much in place, we will at that point begin a serious fundraising effort. And of course, we hope in the very near future we'll have our 501c3 in place also. Part of that effort is going to be where we will be selling bricks, where you can commemorate someone that you would like to commemorate, and have their name engraved on that brick, and that'll be incorporated into the memorial somehow. We don't know just how yet, and once we have that plan pretty much in place, then we can determine at that point how many bricks we can sell, and the expansion capability of that effort, and so on and so forth. So we're moving along real well there, and I just have to say that it's just been an honor to work with your foundation board. They're just a stellar group of people. Ken Estep is here, I see Al Hagman, Mike Katowski's over at Dan Furtado, Bert Caro, and there's probably some other, we got a gentleman right here that was in the D-Day application, or D-Day, the D-Day invasion, and glad to have you with us here. Join. Not too long ago, yeah, stand up and take a vote. This is George Nicole, who is a survivor from the D-Day invasion. George was part of our committee to begin with, and has been completely supportive as we've gone through this whole process. And George, it's just been an honor to have you there, and as well you, Daphne, his wife. Not too long ago, I got an email from City Councilwoman Jane Kennedy. She sent this email to me, and I was so moved by this email, I forwarded it on to the rest of the foundation board. I want to read this to you. It's a brief email, but I thought it was very apropos and poignant for what we're talking about today. The average age of the military man is 19 years. He is a short-haired, tight-muscled kid who, under normal circumstances, is considered by society a half man and half boy. Not yet dry behind the ears, not old enough to buy a beer, but yet old enough to die for his country. He never really cared much for work, and he'd rather wax his own car than wash his father's, but he never collected unemployment either. He's a recent high school graduate. He was probably an average student, pursued some sort of sport activity, drives a 10-year-old car, and has a steady girlfriend that he either broke up with or when he left, or swears that she'll be waiting for him when he returns from halfway around the world. He listens to rock and roll, hip-hop, or rap, or jazz, or swing, and carries a 155mm howitzer. He's probably 10 or 15 pounds lighter now than he was when he was at home, because he is working or fighting from dawn to well after dusk. He has trouble spelling, thus writing a letter is a pain for him, but he can field strip a rifle in 30 seconds and reassemble it in less time in the dark. He can recite to you the nomenclature of the machine gun or a grenade launcher and use either one effectively if he must. He digs foxholes and latrines and can apply first aid like a professional. He can march until he is told to stop, and stop until he is told to march. He obeys orders instantly and without hesitation. But he is not without spirit or individual dignity. He is self-sufficient. He has 2 sets of fatigues. He washes one and wears the other. He keeps his canteens full and his feet dry. He sometimes forgets to brush his teeth, but never to clean his rifle. He can cook his own meals, mend his own clothes, and fix his own hurts. If you're thirsty, he'll share his water with you. If you're hungry, his food. He'll even split his ammunition with you in the midst of battle if you run low. He has learned to use his hands like weapons, and weapons like they are his hands. He can save a life or take it, because that's his job. He will often do twice the work of a civilian, draw half the pay, and still find ironic humor in it all. He has seen more suffering and death than anyone should, should have in his short lifetime. He has wept in public and private for friends who have fallen in combat and is unashamed. He feels every note of the national anthem vibrate through his body while at rigid attention, while tempering the burning desire to square away those around him who haven't bothered to stand or remove their hat or even stop talking. In an odd twist, day in and day out, far from home, he defends the right to be disrespectful. Just as his father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather, he is paying the price for our freedom. Fearless or not, he is a boy. He is the American fighting man, and he has kept this country free for over 200 years. He asks nothing in return except for our friendship and understanding. Remember him. Always he has earned our respect and admiration with his blood, sweat, and tears. And now we even have women over there in danger doing their part in this tradition and going to war when the nation has called them to do so. So when you go to bed tonight, you might remember this. Not too long ago, I got an email from one of our board members. And the caption on the email is this: the definition of a veteran in relation to honor. A veteran is someone who at one point in his or her life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including my life. In my opinion, this certainly conveys a part of what the Veterans Honor is all about. And that's what this Memorial Day is all about, and that's what this memorial is going to be all about. It's about those men that have written that check, and unfortunately many have given their all in the defense and preservation of some of the constitutional freedoms we enjoy today. It's also about and reflective of the sacrifices of their families, for in a real sense, they have given their all also. So as far as I'm concerned, the ground that we turned this last Veterans Day, when we broke ground up here at this landing for our memorial, is hallowed ground to honor those people like Sergeant Adam Estep, who at the age, I believe, of 23 years, died in Iraq on April 29, 2004, and Lieutenant Ken Ballard on May 30th died in 2004, also died in Iraq. 4 years ago this coming Friday. I believe he was 27 years old. So as we honor these ladies and gentlemen that have given their all and their families that have sacrificed everything too, let us keep in mind also those men and women that are serving here and around the world, and wish them safe and a speedy recovery from whatever they're recuperating from. And Godspeed. Thank you.